Hi, welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are highly welcome. This is the home of news. Please click on that red button that says subscribe. Beside the red button is a notification bell. Turn the bell on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first person to check it out. And after watching the video, you are free to leave your comment constructively and tell me what you think about the video and the channel. As we hop into today's exciting video, let's watch this video together.
Popular misconception about the Igbo people, which Eurocentric scholars who first studied them propagated widely, is the notion that they were stateless before the arrival of British colonialism. This notion was based on the European worldview, which equated the idea of centralized monarchical systems and the often violent pursuit of empire with statehood. They equated monarchical system and empire with statehood. Now, what these early scholars failed to appreciate about most Igbo groups was the egalitarian nature of a lot of Igbo societies. But before we look closely at Nri and Igbo kingdom, which is quite unique and admirable, please remember that this channel cannot survive without your support. So please take a moment to support us by clicking on your subscription and notification buttons. Thank you. We'll come to the unique model of Nri's governance and expansion later. Now, like the case of most other African ethnic groups, the origin of the Igbo people, who are found predominantly in southeastern areas of Nigeria, is difficult to piece together because, again, it is steeped in oral tradition. Today, we will be looking at one of the most enduring cultures in Igbo land, the Nri. The home of the Igbo people, like I said, can be found in southeastern Nigeria. And the area is divided by the Niger River into two unequal sections: the eastern region, which is the larger section, and the midwestern region. The Niger River, however, rather than being a barrier to cultural unity, has provided a solid means of communication in an area where many settlements claim different origins. Now, the Igbos are surrounded on all sides by other ethnic groups like the Ijaw, the Ogoni, the Igala, the Tiv, the Yako, Edo, the Shekiri, Ibibio, and others. While some accounts insist that the Igbo are indigenous to where they are now, others suggest that they came from around the River Benue, while others suggest that the Igbo came from the land of Israel. The predecessor of the present ruler of Onitsha, one of the principal cities in Igbo land, Obi Ofala Okagwe, is actually on record declaring a kinship between the Igbo and the biblical people of Israel, in the same way that some Yoruba traditional rulers claim that a relationship to the Middle East through Lamorodom. According to the late Obi Ofala Okagwe's account, the founder of Nri, whose name was Eri, who came from the Israelite tribe of Gad, traveled from Egypt arrived at the confluence of the River Niger, Manu, and Anambra. This man named Eri then lived there as an alien among the people he met, and somehow managed to become their high priest and judge in much the same way as Samuel in the Bible ruled Israel. Now, while the jury is still out on the veracity of this connection between Igbo land and between the Igbo and Israel, one thing that scholars seem to agree on is the fact that Umri was one of the earliest settlements of Igbo-speaking people. And according to Afikpo, the Umri developed an egalitarian and highly centralized society headed by a priestly king known as Ezenri. The Umri also had highly developed agricultural practices, which some scholars believe was more advanced than those of their contemporaries. Some accounts credit the people of Umri for discovering the secret of yam cultivation. The ability of the Umri to cultivate this highly valued food product gave them advantage over their neighbors who needed to learn their secret to cultivate yam. This scientific breakthrough boosted the profile of the kingdom, and its reputation as a commercial center spread easily far and wide. According to Anda and Kuanda, around 900 AD, Umri also made a technical breakthrough in mastering the art of iron smelting. With iron technology, the Umri further advanced their ability to farm and hunt. But one of the most admirable things about the Umri is that they could easily have used their knowledge of iron smelting to make war implements with which to dominate their neighbors. But they did not. Rather, Umri kingdom preferred peace and therefore prioritized trade and respect for the sanctity of human life. To ensure that its iron technology was not weaponized and misused to cause bloodshed, the rulers of Umri, known as Ezenri, transformed weapons into ritual objects, thus militating against unnecessary violence. As such, when any of their neighbors, which were under their influence, broke the convention, such communities were outlawed by Umri priests, and an embargo or curse Nso was placed on them. The curse on Nso was not lifted until a cleansing rite was performed. It was really admirable. Though not militaristic in its foreign relations, Umri was able to maintain a ritual or spiritual control on its neighbors. And according to Walter Rodney, that formidable Caribbean scholar of African affairs, who studied the Umri, it was widely believed that the streets of Umri were the roads of gods through which all who died in other parts of Igbo land, which were under Umri's influence, ascended to the spirit world. So this simple mythical reputation and the ritual importance of the kingdom enabled the Ezenri to send delegates to other settlements. His delegates would then request those settlements to pledge their allegiance to Unri. It was a really peaceful way of expanding their control. So apart from this, and unlike any other groups, Unri diviners, priests, and blacksmiths enjoyed immunity to travel due to the value of their services to the communities that they traveled to. Another factor that is believed to have strengthened the influence of Unri was the prestigious title of Ozo that was conferred mainly by the kingdom, the Unri kingdom, to other parts of Igbo land. Holders of this title were well distributed across Igbo land, thus creating a link between other communities and the Unri. Again, according to Afikpo, with this high level of influence, Unri traders and blacksmiths were able to travel far and wide, thus bringing to Unri items from far away places. Some of these imported items have been unearthed in the burial chambers in archaeological excavations at Igbo Ukwu, which Anda and Akwanda situate as part of Unri civilization. Excavations carried out so far in the Igbo Ukwu area reveal that the people had a flourishing metal working art. 3 sites excavated so far reveal hundreds of ritual vessels and regalia, as well as castings of bronze heads or leaded bronze that are among the most inventive and technically accomplished bronzes ever made. The people of Igbo Ukwu were the earliest smithers of copper and its alloys in West Africa. They worked the metal through hammering, bending, twisting, and incising. They are believed to have been among the earliest groups of West Africans to use the highly advanced lost waxed casting techniques in the production of bronze sculptures. Anda and Kwanda also has said that in addition to the bronze objects, elephant tusks, staff heads, human and animal figurines, ritual ornaments, feathered hand fans, bells, whole and fragmented pottery, glass works, clay, as well as copper artifacts were discovered in one of the Igbo Ukwu burial chambers. Now, what this discovery affirms is the fact that the Unri were highly cultured and well-traveled people who may have had wide trade networks as far as that spread as far as the Nile Valley, the East African Swahili coastal areas, and the Trans-Saharan trade network. The fact that the items found in the Igbo Ukwu excavations were wrapped in cloth and housed in a burial chamber also imply that the people who were buried there were important personalities and possibly ancient Ezenri. The Unri began to diminish in prominence with the imperial incursions of the Igala and Benin which began to reduce its spheres of influence. Of course, like other places in Africa, Hungry's situation was further complicated by the emergence of the Atlantic slave trade and its destructive consequences. These factors led to the shrinking of the kingdom and the recession of its influence. By the time the European scramble and partition of Africa took place, Hungry's position was already much diminished. The kingdom was then conquered and surrendered to Imperial Britain in 1911, thus marking the end of an ingenious, scientific, technologically minded, and egalitarian kingdom in southeastern Nigeria. Thank you for watching the Sankofa Pan-African series. Please don't stop engaging us on our community platform by sending your comments and questions. And remember that we may not always have the answers to all the questions asked. So please share your knowledge and information with us and others.
Thank you for always watching Linda's TV show. I will see you again in my next video. Remain blessed. I appreciate each and every one of you, and keep on watching Linda's TV show. If you have not yet subscribed, please, I beg you to do that so that you'll be getting more updates from me. Bye bye.